my career has been in aviation and being a pilot. But all I would say is I'm just honored and humbled to be elected. I know the elected officials in the room feel the same way. If for one person to go to the polls and vote for you, to me it's a humbling thing. You know, I had to really convince my grandson, who just turned 18, to get to the polls and vote for me. I know he was for me. He's just a lazy 18-year-old. Speaking of that, some of the highlights of the campaign, which was a marathon, way too long. You know, in Burkina Faso, Africa, where I was supposed to go last February on a well drilling trip, and then Air France Airlines got messed up. There, the law is that you can campaign for 10 days. And then you vote. You like that, Micah? After the primary election, and looking at the numbers, I had about 10, 18 to 25-year-olds just over at the house in the den, and talked about how poor the turnout was for that age. And then my campaign chairman, Jeff Hutton, back here in the pretty United States of America shirt, brought up some statistics for them. And then he and I walked out in the yard and just talked for about 30 minutes and came back in, and they were all excited. They were going to have a tailgate, and if you had voted, we had your I voted sticker, you know, you were going to get a free Chick-fil-A or something, but they had some exciting plans. And that excited me, you know, to see young people that wanted to be involved, because most of us can remember when we were that age that we weren't very involved either. You know, we had other things to think about. The other thing that I really enjoyed is the elderly of the county, and just being able to get out and spend time with them and to see what was on their mind. And of course, the first thing that was usually on their mind is, well, what are you going to do for people our age? But and all in all, although I'm very thankful that the whole process is over, I hope it's over. You know, I guess there could still be a write-in. Is that right, Dick? You can still write in until.
I think that's over.
It's not over yet. September 10th.
I'll tell you what Sylvia Strickland told me 25 years ago. Once you get elected, it ain't ever over. You're campaigning every day.
Well, I was privileged to be able to speak to this group, this Republican group in Paulding County, and I'm honored to be able to be the nominee to go on the ballot in November. And as you may remember, I had like 8 goals, but to narrow it down to 3, just have unity and harmony, not just on our board, but in our county, and you know, just through good communications, where you can always go and get information. I think the Richland Creek Reservoir is a good example. You know, they have been out there for public relations is a strong part of what they're doing. You know, it's $215 million for us to have an independent water supply. But we don't really balk at that because there's been such good communications around the reservoir. The second thing is just planning for the growth. We're supposed to be by 2040. I'll be in my rocking chair, 90 years old then, but we're supposed to have 250,000 people in Paulding County. And, you know, like Vernon said, if we don't be proactive, and we're not doing things to change that 75.73% to get a lot of the burden off the homeowners. We're just not the same county we were when my wife and I moved here, and you know, 33,000 people. So it takes a lot of deputies. It takes a lot of fire stations. It takes a lot of new things that we didn't have. And you know, it's in my mind, it's by virtue of the fact that we're this close to Atlanta that's happened. And so we need to plan for and manage that growth. And then the last thing is economic development. And Vernon may go, Robert Reynolds is going downtown to the Department of Economic Development State Department of Economic Development on September the 7th, and to get an hour with Chris Carr, the commissioner, and just to make sure that we're not leaving anything out, we're not leaving any stones unturned, and that'll just be an opening meeting. So some good things coming up, and again, I'm just humbled to be able to serve you and support you. And if you have any thoughts or ideas, I got big ears. They're getting bigger. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.